online hear us okay?
A little quiet for me.
A little quiet, okay.
So maybe, yeah, use that.
Maybe I need to move the microphone. Is that a little better?
Much better, thank you.
Okay. Okay, sorry about that. So yes, we'll just, as folks want to speak around the room, let's just make sure there's a microphone in front of us, so everybody can hear us online. So yeah, we're just calling the meeting to order. We just called it to order at 10:01. So first on the agenda, as usual, is our round of introductions and welcoming folks. Thank you for coming to the annual meeting. And we have some exciting site visits later on, but why don't we go around the room first?
Kristen Laney from the town of Hardwick.
Oh, good to hear you.
I'm Emily Lukert from Lamoille County NRCD.
I'm Richard Goff from alternate to Megan on the board of directors for Lamoille County Planning Commission.
I'm Mel Aubrew. I'm with Franklin County NRCD. And I think I'm still the vice chair, at least
You are,
until
and you're the rep.
okay. I don't know the rest of this meeting, but
Dean here from the Quest staff.
Nora Brown, Quisp staff.
I'm Lorna Peters, Quisp staff.
And online.
Yeah, let's go to the online folks. So I see Brad first on the screen.
Hi, I'm Brad Holden. I'm town administrator here in Underhill, and I'm representing Chittenden County Regional Planning.
Excellent, thank you, Brad. Ken, do you want to introduce yourself?
Morning, Ken Mink. I'm representing town of Georgia.
And next I see Remy. Let's go to Remy next.
Hey everyone, Remy Kritol, Northern Vermont Conservation Manager representing Vermont River Conservancy.
Excellent, thank you, Remy. And Chris Steele?
Yeah, hi, Chris Steele representing the Watershed Stewards of Greensboro and the Upper Lamoille.
And Dan, you're next on the Hollywood Squares.
Hey, Dan Kahneman, District Manager for the Winooski Conservation District, and I'm here as an alternate for the districts.
Excellent, thank you, Dan. And Fiona?
Fiona McMurtry representing the Greensboro Land Trust.
Excellent, thank you. And I don't think I formally introduced myself. Megan Rodier with Lamoille County Planning Commission and your current Basin Council Chair. So let me get everybody else. So we might have a couple folks that still join us here in person and kind of just roll on in. But why don't we just kind of keep moving forward with our agenda today? Oh, okay, somebody else? Did Chris just join?
Yeah.
Chris Routler just joined?
Yeah, hi. Good to see you all. Thanks, Chris with DEC.
Excellent. Thanks for joining us, Chris. Okay, did we have anybody else who joined online? Nope. Last minute, okay. All right, so next, I think I hear some more people coming. Next is our usual meeting protocols. That might just be people upstairs. All right, so I'm just going to read off the Zoom norms for us to follow as usual. So we did our meeting introductions. As possible, WIC members should have in their Zoom name / title the following: name, organization, voting, or alternate, any pronouns you desire. WIC members are expected to have cameras turned on during the entirety of the meeting as technically possible. WIC members are expected to stay focused, avoid multitasking, and follow the guidance of if you would do something in an in-person meeting, don't do it in a virtual meeting. WIC members will use the raise hand function on Zoom to indicate a request to speak or to come off mute. All members will stay muted until called upon. If needed, Quest staff may mute participants to avoid background noise. Any comments made in the chat will be read out loud at the appropriate time by quiz staff and so forth. So let's continue to just follow those Zoom norms as usual. So next on the agenda is if anybody has any conflict of interest they'd like to declare at this point. When we get to the election point, of course I will abstain from voting for the chair. But other than that, do we have other conflicts of interest? I'm not seeing any raised hands online either. Okay.
I don't think you have to abstain from voting for yourself.
I don't.
In my opinion, she doesn't.
I don't technically have to.
Politicians usually make a big deal about going to the polls and voting
For themselves? Okay. Well, I just feel awkward voting for myself, so I'll abstain respectfully. It won't matter, okay. Okay, so yeah, if we don't have any conflicts of interest at this point in time, our next thing, of course, is to review and approve our agenda for today for the July 30th Basin 7 Basin Water Quality Council meeting, our annual meeting. So I guess I'll take a motion to approve the agenda, if everybody's okay with it.
So moved.
So moved, thank you. And do we have a second to approve today's agenda? Okay.
This is for Emmy. I'll second.
Oh, I think Mel beat you to it.
Sorry.
Gotcha. No problem.
Sorry, that was a little hard to hear us. Okay, so all in favor of approving the agenda, say aye. 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 Okay.
Aye.
Okay, so we're all good with the agenda. Next is approval of our meeting minutes that were included in our packets. So we have our meeting minutes from the May 28th, 2026 Lamoille Basin Water Quality Council meeting. Did anybody have any adjustments to the meeting minutes that they'd like to mention now?
I do.
Okay.
I'm down as a capital Q, but as an alternate, it should be a lowercase q.
Oh, that is a good catch by Dick. Yep, very good. Okay. Gotcha. All right. Good catch. Any other changes to the meeting minutes? We need to hit OK on that.
That's an error.
It's just
It'll
pop up. Okay. All right. Okay. So if there aren't any other adjustments to the meeting minutes, do we have a motion to approve our May 28th, 2026 meeting minutes? Don't all shout at once. Okay, Kristen, thank you. We have a motion. Do we have a second to approve the meeting minutes?
Can I second? Am I allowed as a?
Yeah.
You're counting this.
Oh.
You're counting as a big Q today.
As a big Q.
Go for it. Second.
All right. So Emily has seconded the minutes. And okay, so all in favor of approving our May 28th, 2026 meeting minutes, say aye. Okay.
I wasn't there for the last couple of updates. Should I abstain or
No.
no? Okay.
No, you were at the last meeting.
I was at the last meeting, but I had to leave early.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But thanks for asking then. Yeah. Okay. So we get the motions on that? Everybody was in favor? All right, meeting minutes are approved. Let's see. Do we have any public comment that is not related to the items on our agenda today? Online too. Nobody's raising their hand online. Okay, I can only see like some of them. Okay. So, moving right along, if we don't have any public comments, yeah, we're doing very good on our time. So budget adjustment requests. Did we get any of those? No?
No, the slide is wrong. It wasn't one since last time.
Okay. So no budget adjustment requests to review today then. So next is seating of members and alternates. Have we had anybody else approach us recently?
I'm just going to say a few things and run through a couple of slides. Standing agenda item, it's an opportunity to announce changes. I'm dwelling on this a little bit more because this is the official start of the term. So back in April, some of you will remember we did this basically surveying everyone. So I know that at least one other Basin Council saw their meeting after the annual meeting. It's an opportunity to just kind of formalize it so it's belt and suspenders. We're following DEC guidelines in doing this. The reason why it's done is to maintain a diverse representative council. Just in case anybody doesn't remember, 9 members created as a result of statute, 2 from conservation districts, 2 from RPCs, 2 from watershed organizations, 1 from a land conservation organization, and 2 from municipalities, and then there can be a slew of alternates. This is a screenshot of what's on the website for the representatives. As we've talked about in the past, there are some vacancies, and the one thing I've been having some conversations with Emily Bergoff about, and man, that's a lot of Emily's in the conservation districts.
We're only represented by Emily's.
and whether or not, because I understand that the district may be hiring a water quality person, and one of the things is that perhaps that person would fill that role. But again, this is just belt and suspenders, recognizing the people who are serving in the roles as reps and alternates. And this is the official start of the 2-year term.
Excellent. Great. Yeah, thanks for that refresher, Dean. Yeah, we haven't had any other folks approach us that we need to address at this point in terms of council members or alternates?
Nothing.
Okay. All right. Well, then we can move on to election of officers, I suppose. I think we're doing really well for time. We will have a little bit more of a break before our site visits. And then we don't have any new who joined online, right? No. Okay. Just double checking. So yeah, so this is the time every year at our annual meeting when we elect our chair and our vice chair, and elect our official officers to serve for the next 2 years, right?
The officers are elected annually.
Annually, right, sorry. Regular members serve for 2 years.
Your service as a member is for 2 years, but the officer elections happen every year.
Yes, officer elections happen every year at the annual meeting. And so we, as a council, we opted not to do a nominating committee. We felt like, we can continue to make recommendations via the floor for officers. So I guess we'll just continue that approach.
Yeah, and if you don't want to oversee an election, if you are going to stand, then I can just momentarily see if there are any nominations
take
for
the
the
mic?
chair of the
Sure.
Basin Council for the coming year.
Why don't we do that, Dean?
Okay. Are there, I'm going to stop sharing so I can see people on the screen. Would anyone like to nominate themselves or anyone else to serve as the chair of the Lamoille Basin Water Quality Council for the coming year?
I'd like to nominate Megan Taylor,
Rodier.
Rodier, for the chair of the Basin Quality Council.
Thank you for that nomination. Is there anyone else who would like to nominate anyone for themselves to serve as the chair? Whether or not we would need to have an election, and if there isn't any, then we'll just vote on one. I don't see any indication that there's anyone who would like to nominate anyone else. So I'm going to consider the nomination process closed. And so would everyone who's in favor of electing Megan Rodier of the Lamoille County Planning Commission to serve as the chair of the Lamoille Basin Water Quality Council for the coming year, would you please raise your hand? I'm seeing basically everyone who can vote on screen. I'm not sure if I see you, Ken, if you're not, if you're abstaining. Ken, are you abstaining? Oh, he's voting yes, okay. All right, that's, I guess when you're giving thumbs up, you're really gonna, and you didn't, I don't know if you even had to vote for yourself.
Thanks
I
for the
didn't see
thumbs
any.
up.
But since you are elected as the chair, re-elected as the chair, then I'm going to turn the gavel back over to you.
All right, thanks, Dean. All right, well, thank you all for re-electing me as chair. Appreciate it. So now we need to elect a vice chair of the Basin Council. So I want to make a motion to re-elect Mel as vice chair.
A second. Do you need one?
She's running this show at this
Yeah. So second. Okay. So Kristen has seconded that recommendation and motion. So are we all in favor of? Well, actually, first I have to ask: does anybody else want to nominate themselves or someone else to be vice chair of the Basin Council? First, have to give any other opportunities folks are interested. Okay, I'm not seeing any hands go up. Okay, so if everybody is all in favor with Mel being our vice chair and continuing as vice chair, please say aye. Raise your hands. Say aye. Let's do the hand raise.
Aye.
Okay. All right. Motion carried then. All right. Mel is our vice chair. Continue to be as vice chair. Okay, so that's election of officers. So it looks like we are on to the QUIS reappointment process. And I know there was a memo included in the packet about that. Do you want to speak to that a little bit, Dean?
Yeah, I was going to share a few slides, as is my tendency. This is recapping what was in the memo, essentially. But just as members are, or just as the officers are re-elected by the members every year, clean water service providers, so the Regional Planning Commission that I work for, Northwest RPC, which had responded to a solicitation that the Agency of Natural Resources issued 5+ years ago, was selected to serve as the clean water service provider for the Lamoille Basin, also for the Missisquoi Basin. And it runs for a period of years. They were staggered, so not every QUISP had to be reevaluated or evaluated at the same time. But it is the Lamoille QUISP's time to go through a reappointment process, assuming it wants to remain. And the RPC does, and you had a copy of a letter provided to you via email, and it was also in the packet. But this is happening because Act 76 says creating the system have to identify these bodies, these clean water service providers, but they don't have their positions for forever. They have to be evaluated, and if they're successful in that evaluation, then they would get reappointed. So there's a formal performance evaluation that happens before the 5-year term expires. The 5-year term expiration for this list is June 30th next year, I believe. It's next year. In order to be reappointed or stay eligible, the provider's got to show that it's meeting adequate progress towards the phosphorus targets. I think everybody here is aware that funding comes from the state to the clean water service providers, and along with that funding is a phosphorus target that we are trying to meet when we give the money out to do projects and have the phosphorus reductions occur. And like I just said, the process started with this letter being submitted. The evaluation that I mentioned has 3 areas. So it's progress towards the targets, adequate maintenance of existing targets, and that's something what we're just getting into now because it took some time to get the projects done, but adequate maintenance of existing projects is part of it. That's just why we go through this extensive O&M process, developing the plans, and identifying some entity to perform the O&M and so on, and then effective WIC coordination and governance. DEC is going to also look at the pipeline of projects, how we keep our books, fiscal management, and things like that, in compliance with things like the open meeting law and involvement of WIC numbers. Then you can understand why these kinds of factors are considered. So in terms of the steps, people may be interested to know one of the key next steps is a public survey. It will go online. I believe that you'll be contacted by DEC, and Chris Rottler can correct me or can add to this, but there will be a public survey, opinion survey that's online that you can respond to. That'll be September-ish. There is a self-assessment that the QUISP must do itself. Then DEC reviews, and then they make a determination. In terms of the schedule, though, more specifically, the letter had to be in by July 30. We beat that by a couple of days. The survey is mid-September to mid-October, roughly speaking. The self-assessment will be due at the end of October. Happy Halloween. And then there's also a file review the DEC will conduct, where we provide a whole slew of information about 2 projects that DEC will identify. They've given themselves November and December to evaluate this stuff, and their goal is to have the decision made, by January, and that's a full 6 months before technically the term would end if the Clean Water Service Provider Regional Planning Commission had not decided to seek reappointment. Yeah, I made a slide. What could go wrong? In theory, the DEC could say that we're not meeting the targets, which we're not. But we are making progress, but the DEC determined that the progress that was being made wasn't incremental and reasonable, then that could come into play. Or if there was some major governance failure, like if we weren't posting meeting notices or minutes and things like that to comply with the open meeting law, that would be an issue. Or if we weren't doing proper internal controls for our finances, that could be. And then the survey results can come into play. I'm not expecting and certainly not hoping that those would come into play, but that's what will be considered by DEC as this process goes forward. So knock on wood by January-ish, we'll have a positive decision from DEC. I think I'll just stop there.
Okay. Well, I think we should think
Any
positively.
questions?
We didn't really need that slide.
Sorry?
You said we didn't need that what could go wrong slide.
Oh, okay.
It'll be
Well,
okay. Think
I'm a
positively, right?
realist. I see.
No, I know. I'm more of an optimist.
Right. I just said he had to step away from the network.
Okay.
Maybe he's back.
Yeah, I guess I want to take the opportunity too to say thank you to the Northwest Regional Planning Commission for serving as a clean water service provider, and for really, staffing up to make this happen. So we do appreciate, all your efforts. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can't imagine what would happen if you didn't get reappointed.
Right.
It would be a heavy lift. It would be a heavy lift for someone, and even a heavy lift just to transfer materials.
Well, even to find somebody would be a heavy lift.
Well, some days. Technically, there are, when the Act 76 rule was first formulated, there are backup regions, and the backup region for many of the basins, I believe, is the Chittenden RPC. But yeah, you're nodding because does that sound familiar? Or is, yeah. And I don't know exactly what happened, but that's something that. Oh, and I see Ken's hand is up, so maybe.
Oh yeah, Ken, do you have a question?
Yeah. So, how do we notify the public? Or what methods are we using to notify the public, I suppose?
So, one of the things that we've done is included an article in our newsletter. I haven't shared that article with Megan and the other RPCs to possibly go in there. We don't ordinarily get much attention from newspapers or news folks like that, but we do. So every notice that goes out for meetings goes to a list of folks that includes local reporters. I did notice this time though that one of them was on vacation and one of them has changed jobs. Someone at VT Digger who we've been sending these to. So we do try to get the word out. And as far as something that's specific to this, yeah, Catherine and I had floated a little bit of an idea of whether or not we could interest local news to cover the fact that we've done this. But we've already written one article, and now it would be great to get VT Digger or local newspapers or VPR or somebody like that to cover it.
You said we haven't been meeting our targets. How about Mrs. Lamoille Basin? Okay.
So neither basin is meeting the targets with projects in the ground. And so what I can say is that, and Nora has done a lot of work with this, she created a dashboard so we can project or estimate or forecast what the phosphorus reductions will be. It's just that they're not in the ground. So that's why I say we're not meeting the targets. The Missisquoi target is considerably larger than the Lamoille target. I should have these numbers at my fingertip, but maybe you can go to the dashboard. Nora can tell us what the forecast. Now the forecasts are good. The forecasted phosphorus reductions in both basins are good numbers. They're big numbers. So there's reason to be happy, but we just don't have them in the ground.
Yeah, we have. So the target, cumulative target is 63.3 kilograms. In the implementation phase, we have about 33. But then in credits estimated in the design phase for all design phase project is 376. So there's a lot in the pipeline, so to speak, but not as much in the ground.
And is that comparable to Missisquoi as well?
Well,
I'm just trying to understand.
yeah.
Where are we way below or are we?
Yeah, where we stand. Yeah.
So the Missisquoi is a lot higher of a target, but I would say, I need to pull up the numbers as well, but they are closer to 50% in the implementation phase of their target, and this basin is also around 50%, so they're pretty comparable, unfortunately. Yeah.
Do you have estimates to when, say everything goes well and all of the design projects are implemented, when the target will be reached?
No, I don't have an estimate of that. It's kind of hard to predict.
Yeah.
Because even those implementation phase credits, some of those aren't technically finalized yet either. Because projects are either being built right now or the accounting still has to happen. And we did have some losses in this basin as well. We had the buffer planting at 10 bends.
Sorry, I'm just glad that my battery didn't die. That's why I'm going few.
So which accounts for this? That was like an 8 kilogram loss. Another project went from an 11 kilogram estimate to 2.4 after implementation. So yeah, it's been a little bit not the most straight up. I don't know.
It's
But
kind of a
good
2
progress.
steps forward, 1 step back thing.
Exactly, yeah. Not quite. Maybe 2 steps forward and half a step.
When do you receive credit, like through the O&M period? Is it in the 10 years? Is it 3 years? Is it?
When the project is complete, so there are reports that Nora has been filing
Yeah.
that are what get reviewed, and that's where I believe the official number would be. But the whole verification process, that's every 3 years, and that's conducted. So if we did a bunch of projects and they were verified 3 or 6 years later and they weren't performing, that's when the number could go down.
Right, okay.
So
That's what
complete-
happened with the 10 bends is we had 8 kilograms for that, and then I went to verify it last year and it just doesn't exist anymore, and so then now it's 0. So yeah, we had that credit and then it got taken away.
Gotcha.
So, another question. Act 76 made this happen. Is there a termination time?
Is there a
time
sun-
when this disappears, where this ends?
That's a good question, and maybe, I mean, there's a time frame for the TMDL. And what we're doing really is to address the TMDL, and the TMDL's horizon year is 2036. And the world being what it is, like looking that far ahead now, it's 10 years, but a lot can change in 10 years. There'll probably be a different TMDL, and I'm not sure. No one can predict what the schedule, but the idea of the law is that this doesn't just happen and then go away. It's sustained. Is the whole reason why there's this renewal process to stand up these organizations, have them develop the capacity, and do these projects and have it carry on. But I would venture that it's not going to be the same system 10 years. I mean, there will be things about it that are some way different. But, you know, what's that?
I probably won't be here.
Oh, well, you're hale and hearty, you're gonna be fine.
If I'm very old.
Okay. Do we have any other questions? Appreciate all the questions. That was good conversation around the reappointment process. I'm just looking online to see if there's. Oh, Chris, are you raising your hand there?
Yeah, I just want to jump in and this is a great presentation. I just wanted to emphasize that the point that Dee made about a survey that will go out, and we'll send that to all of you BWIC members as well as other stakeholders that the Lamoille QUISP regularly deals with, so project implementers and the like. And we really do value the feedback that we receive. So hopefully we can get full participation from the BWIC on that survey, and hopefully some others as well. So please be on the lookout for that. Yeah, thanks again for all that you do on the BWIC, and thanks to Dean and Northwest RPC for the work they are doing.
Excellent. Thanks, Chris. So yeah, I'll just ask what, I guess, before we move on, any other questions on that? If not, thank you for all the conversation around the reappointment process. I think that was informative. I do see on our agenda next, we wanted to talk about project legal expenses.
Yeah, this is mostly informative, but to set the stage, when we do these projects that we were just talking about, when the projects are expensive projects, when they involve $200,000 or more in state investment at the implementation phase, we have to have a beefy agreement with the landowner. We, the clean water service provider, has to have an easement as opposed to a license, and not to get into the gory details of legal documents, but the license is an agreement that doesn't need to be recorded in the land records. It doesn't run with the land. If we were to sign a license with a property owner and the property owner sold it, that license wouldn't stay with the property. We would have to work something out. But it is only for those projects that are over $200,000. There's some stuff that may change when the property is a property that has a conservation easement on it. Like, why have a conservation easement and also have a water project site access easement? Well, that, you know, that's a different conversation, but it looks like that may be possible, should be possible for this simpler document. But we can't always avoid the need for an easement. They get recorded in the land records, like I said. They help ensure that we will be able to continue to count the phosphorus reduction. Last fall, there was some conversation at a meeting about the book, getting BWIC approval for legal expenses. The legal expenses is tied to the project. We wouldn't have those expenses if the project wasn't being done. So it's directly related to the project. And we had come, and sometimes I'm keeping my basins straight, or we at least pointed out the importance of covering these costs. And it just means that the Basin Council has to say, yes, project funds can go to cover those costs. So what we're doing is rolling out part of the application, which I'm going to just show you on a screenshot in a minute. So if you're filling out a project application for a project that's going to cost $300,000, it will need an easement, okay? And so we want to make sure that when the Basin Council considers that request for $300,000, they are giving their authority for $300,000 plus. And that's the question that I'm going to try to answer. How much is that plus? So these figures are for all of the easements that we, as a clean water service provider in both basins, have been involved in. So there was one project that had a municipal property, so publicly owned, and it was the first one, so that they were, you know, figuring out some of the kinks. But the cost to do the legal work, and I'm not a lawyer, so we have to give it to our attorney. There's reviewing the deeds and things like that. That came to $2,676. Another project was in the Missisquoi, not the same basin, but same thing, with many landowners, some of which were public, many were private, and some were nonprofit. And the bill, and it, you know, when you multiply the work times 8 property owners, it adds up to a lot. It was nearly $21,000 in legal expenses for all of that. But that works out to $2,600. And then the most recent one, which was with the Vermont Land Trust, so single owner land trust organization, which knows this territory. And the total I have for now, there could be another invoice, has been $750. There might be another invoice, but my guess is that it's not going to be any greater than another $750, so $1,500. But what we're looking at is an average per parcel in the neighborhood of $2,500. And I apologize because Mel got this in the packet. I had this memo and I had been planning to get these numbers crunched and I forgot that I hadn't filled in those blanks. And so these are the numbers. What this means is, and this is hopefully something people can see clearly enough, when people are filling out the online form, when they indicate that the project is an implementation project, then it'll be the only time that you see this question here, or this statement. If this is an implementation project, then legal costs associated with the title work will be incorporated into the budget that's reviewed by the Basin Council. And right now, my best guess is that when this happens, it'll be a request for $2,500 per parcel. Unless there's something like another one that was on a land trust property, it may just, you know, be reason to say that it's going to only be 1,000. These are only going to actually use the amount of money that the lawyer costs. So if it ends up being less, of course, it's going to be that lower amount. And that's what I was just wanting to get out on the table. It's a follow-up. If you fill out an application for a project that's an expensive one, then you'll see this. Basically have a place where you can put a comment or any clarifications or things like that you want to offer. But that's the gist of it.
Sorry, I had a question. Oh, okay. So this legal cost is going into the application of the project implementer and counts towards the total project cost?
It's going to be the there will be. It's not being put into your budget, it's being put on top of your budget.
Okay.
So like your application will have your budget in it, and what we're saying is that in the presentation to the Basin Council, the bottom line will have that number plus the $2,500 if it's a single person.
Right. And the QUISP is handling the legal services.
The legal agreement, the easement, is between the QUISP and the property owner, so that's where it has to be.
Yeah, so the project implementer is not like contract.
It's not right. It's not having to go to your lawyer.
Thank you. Oh, I also have another question. I'm sorry. The memo says for projects with state investment of $200,000 or more, and I know I've asked this question like 7 times. Is it $200,000 total or $200,000 implementation costs?
So I have to try to keep these straight because there are different and I think for the easements it's $200,000 total, I think, and that with bonds it was $200,000 only at implementation. So it does have a backward look. This is something I'll verify, but I think that it is up to implementation, and if it's not, then the other one is.
Okay. And in the past, we were told it was $200,000 for implementation.
Okay, and that could be that, because that's my initial inclination, is that it's, yeah, that it is the state dollars at implementation, because I think that's what the slide.
Yeah, that was my understanding too, maybe. Since Chris is here?
Yeah, the implementation costs,
Yeah.
right, I think it's at the implementation.
Doesn't include design.
Right, for the,
Because then we would have had a lot more easements.
we would have had a lot more.
Right, that's what I was.
Yeah.
You've got a question.
Yeah, question from Ken.
Yes. Do we have some projects that are in 2 towns? Because I would think that would increase your legal budget. I'm guessing here, but
We have, in the Lamoille, I don't believe any, I know that there's a project that is being adopted in the Missisquoi that's very close to the town boundary, but it doesn't cross it, right?
Yeah.
So, but that's a good point. Yeah.
The Trout Brook dam removal that dam was owned by Enosburg Falls, but located in Berkshire, which I guess is
So,
not exactly. But so, yeah, we haven't had anything where it crosses a town boundary.
like, Ken, you're getting at this idea that someone's going to be visiting 2 sets of land records.
exactly, yes, yeah.
Chris put in the chat that the performance bond figure is 1 million
Yeah, that's
for an easement, and then, but yes, it's just implementation costs.
the bond number has gone up,
Yeah.
and so it's now less likely projects will have to have the bond. Although a bond could be required for a lower amount if there was something about it that was risky. And if I'm not mistaken, an easement could also be required if there was something about it that was deemed to be risky.
The requirement for bonds is $1 million implementation.
The
Implementation, it sounds like, yeah.
Yeah, it's essentially doubled. I think it went from 500 to 1 million, but it's much larger. So those will be fewer. But yeah, Ken, good point about that. I don't know how often we'll have those multi-town projects, but we could certainly have them.
Okay. Any other questions on the legal fees and the process? Corey has joined us here too. Hi, Corey. Okay, so if there aren't other questions on that, we are on to our any other updates or conclusions.
Oh, so I might, do I have the wrong one? Did I? That's the wrong slide. I'm dragging things back and forth between PowerPoints, and it's not obviously the topics for the next meeting. But it is time for site visits. Oh, yeah, thank you. All right. Right, so possible topics for discussion next time are described briefly in the memo. Progress towards P targets, and we've already been touching on that. An update on what I'm calling the year 5 contracts. So we have had a 5-year assignment as the clean water service provider. There have been a series of contracts we call year 1, year 2, year 3, and year 5 is the contract that's coming up. And if there's any update on that, changes from past years and so on, I would provide that. And then there have been some rounds of proposed changes to DEC policies, and we would update folks on those if there is news to share. We have our guide for the first of the site visits. Do you want to give us? I included the locations in the packet. I think I also included these maps, but I'm not sure.
Those were in the packet.
So you should be able to get there. And just broad view, the first is a project that the Clean Water Service Provider, the Basin Council gave approval to a portion of a larger project that was being done by the town of Johnson. And then the second visit is a project that was considered but ended up not being approved because of the cost effectiveness and was ended up being funded by enhancements. And it'll give you an opportunity to just look at 2 different types of restoration projects. One, you want to say anything more about it, or anything about parking complications, or?
Yeah, just parking's pretty limited there, so I was thinking we could I'll drive up to Old Mill Park first and consolidate, and then drive over in fewer cars down there together, where the red dot is on the screen, and if that sounds good to everybody.
Where's Old Mill Park?
It's straight at the end of Railroad Street. You'll see the town and village garages, and turn right before there. There's a pretty big parking area. The big parcel, just up or down.
Point out. See it right
Yeah,
there in the
I
map.
made them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The parking for Lamoille Trail. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Where they
So
have
we
the
would just
soccer-
keep
they
going
always have
straight
soccer
Yeah,
games.
yeah.
Railroad
because
Street
it's
and then
soccer,
hanging the right.
the rec fields.
I
Yeah.
should have talked with you.
I'll also offer Lorna and I are gonna come right past here after both site visits if anyone wants to just ride with us.
Wanna get around?
You could do that too. Yeah, just carpool from here.
Yeah.
As possible.
And the next, yeah, 'cause then the second one is in Cambridge, it's like
It
further
is.
away, but
Yeah.
we're gonna be coming back here, so.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So do we know, and one other technical issue is if a quorum is maintained, it will still be the meeting. It will be, we'll have to have notes. It'll be addressed in the minutes, but it doesn't have to have a recording. If we lose a quorum, then we would be adjourning. So is anyone not going to be there? And maybe that consists of the people who are online, I'm not sure.
Dean, I don't know if that's true for site visits. I don't think site visits are, they're open to the public, but I don't believe like whenever the select board has a site visit, we don't take minutes. You might take attendance, but it's you're viewing the site. I think if you look up site visit in open meeting law, it's handled a little differently.
Yeah, I did check it. I'll double check it, Brad, but my main concern was to know that we didn't have to do more than what we're intending to do.
Yeah, I'm not going to make it, unfortunately. So, one person did.
Okay, so Brad's not going to make it. Ken, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I cannot make that.
Okay, so it looks like maybe no one from online, so we have to have 5 people who are going to be there who are voting members. We don't have it. Okay, so you might want to call for a motion
To adjourn?
to adjourn the meeting.
Okay. All right. Yes. So it looks like we won't continue to have quorum necessarily. So I would like to make a motion. Let's see. It's 10:54 a.m. on July 30th. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn our official annual meeting. Somebody second? Second. Mel has seconded the motion. Are we all in favor of adjourning the meeting? Say aye, please. Aye.
Aye.
All right, our official meeting has adjourned.
Thanks everyone. And I did notice that Karen Bates joined, but I don't know when.
Oh, okay.
Like 20 minutes.
You got
Okay.
it. Okay, got it.
And I guess just one other thing about parking, I'll just note before we take a quick break before the site visits. So Tori mentioned carpool from here as you can. If not, go to Old Mill Park and then carpool a little bit to the Holmes Meadows site. Once we head towards Cambridge, I would recommend like continuing to carpool as much as possible, or having some folks stop at the Jeffersonville Park and Ride that's just before the roundabout, kind of like near Teachers Construction, and then have some of us carpool up to the Dorothy Smith site as well.
Okay, so no one's jumping over the first stop, so we can always make sure.
Yes, so we can coordinate too when we get to the end of the first visit as well. I just want to mention that. All right, so let's take a bathroom break here and gather our stuff, and then we can figure out the carpool situation.